Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session we just started verse number 15, wherein he says karma brahmodbhavam, action springs from Brahma. Karma Brahma Udbhavam. Viddhi means know. Know this. You should know this. And then he continues. From where does Brahma originate? He says Brahmakshara Samudbhavam. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Brahma originates from the imperishable. Akshara means that which never decays, that which can never be destroyed. And then he gets into a conclusion. Tasmat, therefore, Sarvagatam Brahma means the all-pervading Brahman. Sarvagatam is very interesting. That which has gone everywhere. Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. Pratishtitam means established. Is ever established. Nityam means always. So the all-pervading Brahma is ever established in yajna, sacrifice. So you should remember that the context of this entire set of verses is yajna. Because yajna is the fundamental principle of karma yoga. And when I say karma yoga, some people think that, that is not for me because I am practicing jnana yoga or I am practicing bhakti yoga. It is not like that. See, this is a total misunderstanding. People think that karma yoga is one path, bhakti yoga is another path, jnana yoga is another path, hatha yoga is another path. Similarly, many yogas came. The different permutations and combinations of these, they gave rise to different yogas. Today I am finding everyone is coming up with his or her own unique name. And then they just add yoga after that name. Traditionally, the yogic path, all that is not followed. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, these are mentioned in our scriptures. But they are not different paths. Yoga is the path. Yoga means union with that infinite self. So one who has united with that infinite self is called a yogi. When I say united, I mean uniting one's individual consciousness with that infinite consciousness. And when you are trying to unite, you are an aspiring yogi. You are called a sadhak. The difference between a sadhak and a yogi is that a yogi is one who is established in the infinite consciousness. A sadhak is one who is trying to establish in that infinite consciousness. So we can say a yogi is a full-blown sadhak, or we can call a sadhak as an aspiring yogi. So there is only one path, and that path is called yoga, the path to unite with the higher self. There are no different paths as people are believing. That one path has different aspects. Everyone has to take care of all these aspects. So karma, that is karma yoga, is one aspect of the spiritual path. Bhakti yoga is another aspect. Jnana yoga is another aspect. Hatha yoga is another aspect. Traditionally, our yogis have divided this path into 4 aspects. Now, why have they done that? Because you have different aspects of your personality. With the physical body, you act. So, when you are acting, how do you perfect yourself? That is karma yoga. They called it karma yoga. It's a name. You need to go beyond the name or terminology and understand the deeper meaning. Similarly, when you are generating various emotions and feelings, now how to purify that? The purification of emotions, that aspect was called as bhakti yoga. Similarly, you generate thoughts. Now, how do you think clearly, bring in clarity or in thinking so that you are able to distinguish and discriminate between the higher and the lower? That aspect was called as jnana yoga. Similarly, hatha yoga, the set of movements, the physical movements, the kriyas, the yogic kriyas and prana kriyas, to subtleize the pranas, again aimed towards merging with the infinite. So when you merely act, it is called karma. When you convert that action into sadhana, it becomes karma yoga. When you merely feel, that is called emotion. But when you use that emotion for purification, then that is called bhakti yoga. Similarly, if you are merely thinking, gaining knowledge, that is jnana. But when you use that knowledge to merge with the infinite, it is called jnana yoga. Same thing with the pranas also. If you are merely using pranas, that is just a normal worldly experience. But if you fine tune the pranas so that your consciousness gets uplifted, then it is called hatha yoga. Now, these are 4 different aspects of your personality. your personality consists of all these four aspects. Your personality has a physical body, it has the pranas, it has emotions, it has thoughts. So everyone has to practice all these four. And all these four put together is the path. There is only one path. And that path was called as yoga. Yoga is derived from its word, the root word yuj, which means union. So there is nothing like I am following Jnana Yoga, not Karma Yoga, I am following Bhakti Yoga, not Jnana Yoga. There is no necessity to fight like that. Everyone has all these four aspects, the physical body, pranas, emotions and thoughts. No one is free of these four aspects. So if you take care of only one aspect and if you neglect the other aspects, then there will be a lopsided development, which is what has been happening in the name of spirituality. Because many false teachers, they have been misrepresenting what true spirituality is. A true master will not emphasize or will not just focus on one aspect. See here, if you take the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Krishna, should I get into action or not? But if you take the whole of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna deals with all the aspects. He deals with action, he deals with speech. Both are, speech is a subtle action, we can say. Then he deals with pranas. He deals with the emotions, the Bhakti Yoga. 12th chapter is nothing but Bhakti Yoga. He deals with Jnana. He deals with dhyana, meditation. See, meditation is the sadhana to burn up the karmas. Here what we mean by karmas is not action but the seeds, the impressions which you have stored. So that's a very subtle sadhana. It has to be done under the guidance of a guru, the guidance of a master. Because, see, you can know your actions. Pranas themselves are difficult to know. Then when it comes to emotions and thoughts, it becomes even more subtle and difficult to penetrate, because you can know what is there at the conscious level, but at the subconscious level, at the deeper level, what is going on, very difficult for you to find out. Then when it comes to karmas, you have no access to that. So very many special methods were given so that you are able to penetrate that. So that is common. From those karmas, the seeds, comes out your personality, and your personality is made up of physical body, pranas, emotions and thoughts. So in this chapter, which is entitled Karma Yoga, his emphasis is on action, no doubt. But that doesn't mean this is a different path. This is something which you need to keep in mind. Otherwise, you will skip the entire chapter thinking this is not relevant to you. Every word which is being given is relevant to everyone, to the entire humanity. Now, as far as you're concerned, instead of thinking about humanity and all that, you consider yourself. Every word which is given is applicable to you, because it is dealing with some aspect of your personality. So, when you are practicing Karma Yoga, you are catering to one aspect through the actions. As you refine your actions, actions means physical actions and speech, your consciousness starts rising up and you reach up to the seed, which is also called karma, that is the impressions. We'll use the word seeds so that it becomes easy for you. The seeds of your personality. Similarly, when you refine your emotions, again you raise your consciousness and go deep within and reach up to the seeds of your personality. Actually, that's what we are doing now in this 22-day empowerment. The Sambandha Vignan, no? Divya Vignan, the divine science of relationships. So in that, how do you refine your emotions and reach to those karmic blocks and dissolve them? It is actually based on the principles of Bhakti Yoga. When we say Bhakti Yoga, people think Bhakti means it's just simply some doing some rituals or singing some bhajans. No doubt those are also grosser aspects of Bhakti, but real Bhakti is refining your emotions, purifying yourself and merging with the infinite. Similarly, even when it comes to Karma Yoga, many people think, okay, Karma Yoga means social service. Karma Yoga should not be restricted like that. Just because you do some external acts of charity or some external acts of service, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing Karma Yoga. You may get stuck at that level. So, in the previous verse, when he was giving you the sequence, now how yajna can give you prosperity, that is the fundamental idea there. Now, when we went back, he came up to action. So, I have thoroughly explained that in the previous verse. You have to get into the state of action by overcoming your spiritual inertia. And then only the possibility of converting your activities into yajna itself arises. That is why he says, yajna comes from action. For a person who is not acting, there is no possibility of doing yajna. And for a person who is not doing yajna, there is no possibility of growing spiritually. As simple as that. This is why the Bhagavad Gita is called the universal philosophy, meant for everyone. Doesn't matter which country you are in, what religion you belong to, what caste you belong to and all that. See, those are all external things. Are you having these four aspects? Physical body, pranas, emotions, thoughts. Are you having the seeds within you, which are called karmas? The answer is yes. Then all these truths are applicable. So, having gone up to that principle of karma in the previous verse, where you overcome the spiritual inertia and get into action. Now, he goes more deep. From where is that karma coming? From where is that action coming? And then from where is that source coming? He is taking you more and more deep into this. He is explaining the very source of action. And when he is explaining the very source of action, he is using a direct word, vidhi, means know. It's almost instructive. He is instructing us, Generally, that is not the style of the masters. The great masters never directly say, do this, do that. I'm saying generally. So here, Krishna is giving a direct instruction and he's saying, you do this. Vidhi means know. Vidhi has a connotation of you should know. Almost like forcing, but it is actually not forcing. If you just go into the depth of it, Vidhi means know. So know that action springs from Brahma. Vidhi also means should know. So you should know that action is springing from Brahma, he says. What is Brahma and all that we'll see. But first you have to see the power of this word Vidhi. So when he says you should know, why is he doing that? Why is he using such a tone? See, supposing you have a particular disease, let's say you have indigestion. So you go to a doctor and you ask him for advice. Is it, doctor, I have this indigestion, so can you please help me? So he does some analysis, tests and all that, and he finds out that your digestive system is not okay. So he says, you should eat very light food for the next 3 days. Don't overload your stomach. Now there, when the doctor says you should do this, it's not that he is forcing you to do something. Since you have gone to him for advice, he is telling you this is what will help you to heal your digestive system. You have approached, so he is saying you should do this because he knows what your goal is. Similarly, Arjuna has approached Krishna here and Arjuna has sought Krishna's advice. In the second chapter, he said, I am thy disciple, please guide me, please tell me what I should do, I am unable to face the situation. Therefore, Krishna is taking the liberty and he is saying, Vidhi. This is the language of the Upanishads. Vidhi means know, you should know. In one of the Upanishads, when the students approach the master and they ask him, what is Brahman, what is that supreme God? He goes about expounding. Those are all very, very powerful mantras, He says, it is not what you see that is God, but what makes you see that is God. See, in one mantra, he smashes all the form worship. He says you have to go to the root. It is not what you hear that is God, what makes you hear is God. He goes on building on that. And then he says, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Same word, Vidhi, he says. Nedam Yadidam Upasate. Know that alone is Brahma, not what you are worshipping here, he says. Whatever methods you are following, this is not the truth. What I am giving you is the truth, says that great master. So what is interesting is, when the student asks the master, what is God, what is that supreme state, he started from the known, for example, whatever you're seeing, and then he started going behind to the source. What makes you see? Now start meditating on that. He gave certain initiations. See, those are all empowerments. See, every Upanishad is actually an empowerment which a master gives to the students. Actually, every mantra of the Upanishad is an empowerment. That's why those are not meant for intellectual, mere intellectual study. One needs to meditate with that. This verse number 15 is at that level. He has stepped up the level actually in this verse, because as you go to the source behind anything, your level will start moving up. And what is the source behind everything? It is nothing but the infinite. That is what he is finally getting into. So whenever a master helps you to penetrate and reach the source, as the process starts deepening, we find that he starts using an emphatic language like vidhi. That's why I gave you the example of the Upanishads. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, he says. You know, you should know that whatever you're worshipping as God is actually not God. This is what is God, that which is behind this whole thing. So when the master is giving that subtle principle, he is pushing the student to put that extra effort to go within and realize. See, here vidhi doesn't mean intellectual knowledge. Even though vid means you can take it as mere knowing, but that is not the true meaning of this. Now, yes sir, now I know. Where is action coming from? From Brahma. See, once I give you the meanings of this, now I know this. Shall we go to the next verse? It's not that. Here, vidhi means knowing. You should know means it is experiential knowledge, experiential wisdom. So it's a sadhana actually. You should know what is behind your action, what is the source of your own action. You know whatever is manifest, but you don't know what is the source. So if you want to control action, if you want to gain mastery over action, you should know the source of action. It is like a magician performing magic. Now when a magician performs a magic, in a magic show, all the audience clap. But supposing from the audience you say, I want to know how this magic is being done, then now you want to know the source. So you have to go to the ultimate source. Who is that? It's a magician only. And you need to ask him, how is it that this magic is being performed? So if you sit with him and learn from him, slowly he'll teach you. And just because he tells you the logic of it, do this, then the magic. Now you say, now I know, I'll go and perform. It will be a miserable failure. He will say you should go on practicing it. It's not merely knowing intellectually, but you should be able to experientially do it. Actually, one great magician, he says, how he practices magic is in front of a mirror. He says, when I perform the magic in front of the mirror, and when I am looking at myself, if whatever I am performing can fool my eyes, because I am seeing it in the mirror, the day when it fools my own eyes, then I know that I have perfected the magic. Only then I take it to the stage. Magicians perform such wonderful tricks, but how much of practice goes behind it? So, knowledge is of two types: just merely knowing it intellectually, and then practicing it thoroughly and practically knowing it. This is true not only with magic, with any field. One parent, she brought her little son to me because he was having this problem. That boy was extraordinarily brilliant. So he was what? In his first standard or second standard. But his thinking was way beyond his years, And his problem was, anywhere she put him, like first he said, I want to play football. So he joined football coaching. Within 3 days he got bored. Within a month he said, I want to discontinue. And when the mother asked him, he said, he is teaching me the same thing. I want him to teach something new, but he is not teaching me. Then the mother put him in cricket coaching. He said, yes, I'll learn cricket. Within a month he said, I don't want. Because they're teaching me the same thing. So everywhere he was put, he was saying this, I'm getting bored. So she came and asked me, sir, he's saying this, so how do I guide him? So when I spoke to that boy, who was very intelligent, I asked him, why are you getting bored? Can you tell me? He said, no, Yogishri, because the coach is teaching the same thing. I said, for example, what? Can you give an example? So he said, in cricket, now they said, imagine that the ball is here. They were teaching the footwork. So when the ball is pitched there, you take your left leg forward. So they ask him to practice that stroke. Not once. Supposing they give 5 strokes. They say each stroke you practice 50 times. And he says, what is there to practice? He genuinely asked me. I don't understand what is there to practice. Because they are saying keep the left foot in front and bend down, whatever instruction. I have done it. Now I know what it is. And they are asking me to do the same thing again and again. Why is it? That's why I am getting bored. It was a very good question which that boy asked. Then I had to explain to him. I gave him the example of swimming. I asked him, do you know swimming? He said, no. I said, now I will explain to you what are the steps of swimming. Basic stroke, like freestyle stroke you take. So you take one hand and you rotate like this, and then you turn this side, then you take this side. Like this it was given. I asked him, do you understand? He said, yes. Have you understood what this stroke is? He said, yes. Now come on, I'll take you and throw you into the waters. He said, no, I cannot swim. I said, just now you told me, I have understood. So when I gave that example, that is when it clicked for him. So I told him, see, that coach is telling you to practice that stroke every day 50 times, so that in a real match, when the ball is pitched there, you don't need to think. It gets into your muscle memory, as they call it. Automatically you will go forward and play that ball. Like this, you need to gain mastery over all the strokes and then keep practicing. Actually, that boy, when he understood that principle, he started scoring very well even he started scoring very good marks in all his subjects. Even in terms of academics, his performance improved. Because even though he was so intelligent, he used to not perform so well in academics. Why? Because he was getting bored. I know this problem. Mathematics, he was so intelligent, he can understand. So he didn't have the patience to write, go through all the steps. So this is how the human mind works. You need to understand that. So one kind of knowing is theoretically knowing something, but that is not going to create any transformation within you. The other kind of knowing is practically knowing it, achieving mastery in that. That is what he means by Vidhi. So, we will read it like this: Vidhi karma brahma udbhavam. Know that karma, action, is springing from Brahma. So the moment you hear that word Vidhi, immediately your entire personality should become very alert, because it's something so important which the Master is giving us. It's so subtle, and that's why he is giving a push there. Normally itself you should be alert. This doesn't mean that in other verses I can afford to sleep, is it? Thank you very much, Yogishri. Only this verse I'll focus. After that I'll go off to sleep. No. Generally itself you should be alert. But when the Master is particularly emphasizing, which means he is going to give the subtle truths of life, so you become extra alert. No room for distractions. Then only you can gain this higher wisdom. See, if you want to gain this higher wisdom, I would say the highest wisdom, there should be no distractions for the mind. You're thinking one thing here, one thing there, in between, let me learn what is Brahma Vidya. Doesn't work that way. When that young boy Nachiketas, when he went to meet Lord Yama in the Kato Upanishad, he was a very small boy. And when he went and asked him for wisdom, the highest wisdom, teach me Brahma Vidya, that which is beyond birth and death. Yama tried to tempt him, to distract him. He offered him wealth, he offered him all kinds of enjoyments, but Nachiketas didn't get tempted. He said, all this you keep, but teach me that Brahma Vidya. So, the highest wisdom requires tremendous focus, which is what we are trying to do through all the sadhanas. See, every Sunday when you keep attending and then when you keep doing your daily sadhana, what is happening? We are trying to increase your focus. And then when you do the empowerment courses, your focus becomes even better. So today, your mind is so scattered. It is running, I would say, in infinite directions. There is no direction, no dimension for the mind. It just keeps running anywhere it wants, and you are a slave to your own mind. With such a scattered mind, you cannot attain the truth. You cannot merge with the infinite. So you have to gather your mind. You have to gather your personality. That is the whole preparation. All the sadhanas are aimed towards gathering the scattered mind. It doesn't come just at one go. I'll try today, sir. Many people, they just close their eyes and try to meditate. Oh, I'm not able to meditate. They say, is it so simple? That's why I tell all the sadhaks, don't use the word meditation unnecessarily, because that will give an ego. See, when you are doing the yoga sankirtan sadhana or the empowerment sadhana, now use the word sadhana, that is better. Because see, so much of help is being given. The Guru Shakti is giving you is healing you. That is why you're able to sit for such long periods. 1 hour in the empowerment session, every empowerment session is minimum 1 hour, and sometimes it goes more than that. You don't even feel the strain, Why is that? It's because of the grace of the higher, it's because of the grace of the Guru Shakti. So, it is a yogi who can truly meditate. So, when you use the word meditation, I am meditating, there is a chance that the ego can get boosted because you are putting yourself on par with the yogis, Better not to do that. If at all you say meditation, you can say, I am doing the meditation sadhana. That automatically humbles you down. Or I am doing sadhana. It's Yoga Sankirtan meditation sadhana. So, left to itself, your mind is so scattered. It lacks the capacity to focus. So, slowly, we need to narrow it down. We need to bring that focus. And finally, it will come to a single pointed focus on the infinite. And when you focus on the infinite in a single pointed way, then you will go beyond the thoughts and get into that state of supreme silence, which is beyond all words. That is the state of Brahman, the state of the infinite. Vidhi, you should know this. You have been born as a human being. As a human being, you have the capacity to attain this Brahma Vidya, and that is why you have come here. You may say, I have come here to solve this issue, I have come here to solve that issue and all that. That is only for a start. But what has pulled you here? Why are you watching this right now? From the soul level, it is this higher seeking. Whether you are aware of it or not, does not matter. And you will not rest content till you merge with the infinite. Once you get into this yogic path, the yogic approach, you cannot rest content till you reach the infinite. And that is why he says, Vidhi, you should know this. So, when a master says Vidhi, it means the student has the capacity to know. See, if supposing a person doesn't have any capacity to understand something, you will not go and tell him, understand. If a person does not have the capacity to do something, you will not go and keep telling that person, do it. So the moment the master says Vidhi, he is putting you at a very high pedestal, because a true master sees the student's potential. As a human being, your potential is nothing short of the infinite. A master only sees that capacity which you are having, and therefore he is urging by saying Vidhi. What a powerful word it is. See, if you just absorb that energy of that one word Vidhi, your entire personality will become so alert. Your scattered mind will just gather itself. This one word Vidhi has that power to bring that sharp focus which is required to raise your consciousness. And if I want you to visualize Lord Krishna is giving this. If you can just visualize Lord Krishna telling you, Vidhi. Don't think Krishna spoke to Arjuna. When we read this, we should consider ourselves as Arjunas. He is directly giving the message to us. So, Vidhi, know. What should you know? Means master, experientially know, practical wisdom. All that is embedded in that one simple word, Vidhi. That's why the good old masters were called as Vedavit. Vedavit means one who knows the Vedas. Their with doesn't mean just theoretically knowing the Vedas or one who knows to chant the Vedas and all that. No. One who knows the essence of the Vedas in depth, practically. One who is living that wisdom. One who knows to swim alone can be called a swimmer, isn't it? One who knows to operate, one who can operate the computer only can be called as a computer specialist. One who can go and argue a case in the lawyer practically, he can only be called as a lawyer. One who knows to treat your body and help you remove your diseases, he should only be called a doctor. It's the same thing. One who has the experience of the infinite should be called a master. That person alone is the guru. Today, the word guru is just simply used now. One who has that highest experience. So from that state, Krishna is urging the entire humanity through Arjuna to wake up. So all the time you are acting. And if you take it in a broader sense, it's not only the physical body. You can say this is physical action. Emotions, you can call that as emotional action. Thoughts, you can call them as intellectual action. So all kinds of expressions are going on, which can be summarized as karma. But where are all those expressions coming from? It's time you learn to go to the source. Vidhi, you should know that. And when you go to the source, you will be able to control all the manifestations. When you learn and practice the magic from a magician, then you will be able to control the outcome. Today, you are wanting the best possible outcome. You want to act wonderfully. You want to generate wonderful emotions. You want to have wonderful thoughts. You want to attract more abundance into your life. All these things you are wanting. But when is it that you can gain mastery over all this? When you go to the source of all these things. So, Vidhi, know that karma, Brahma Udbhavam, action springs from Brahma. So here, when he is using the word Brahma, it is used in the neuter gender, neutral sense. Brahma means Lord Brahma, the creator. That is not what is mentioned here. Why I am saying this is, there are many false teachers who interpret this as Lord Brahma suddenly. This is not Lord Brahma. Because the word Brahma, if you put that extension, is the masculine gender. It's a word. See, in Sanskritam language, you have three genders: the masculine gender, the feminine gender, and the neutral gender. No, here gender means I mean the in grammar, in the in Sanskritam grammar. So they classify the various objects also to masculine, feminine, and neutral. So when you say Brahma, it is neutral, Brahman. When you say Brahma, when you extend it, it is referring to Lord Brahma, the creator. Brahman in neuter gender refers to that infinite formless reality. I am first telling you the general meaning of Brahman, and then when we come to this verse, you will we will see what are the various dimensions of this. So when we are talking of Lord Brahma, it is a manifestation of that formless reality. When that power of creation manifests from the formless reality, that power of creation, that energy was called as Lord Brahma, Brahma. So here Brahma or Brahman, that will make it even more easy. So our ancient yogis used the word Brahma to refer to that infinite formless reality. And that is what they said, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithyam. That infinite reality is Satyam, truth. Jagat Mithyam, this world is an illusion, they said. That is the very central theme of the Vedas. It's not only of the four Vedas. Vedas mean general knowledge. That is the very central theme of your personality actually. When you go deep, 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 deep within you, what is there? It is nothing but Brahman, the infinite supreme reality. So, you should know that action springs from Brahman. So, when I say Brahma, you understand, it means Brahman. So, that's why I am directly saying Brahman, that is so that it becomes very easy for you to correlate. And then he also says Brahman originates from the imperishable, Akshara. So, when it comes to this verse, so many people have interpreted this in so many ways. Some masters gave one dimension of what this verse is conveying according to the context. Like Adi Shankaracharya, he gave one dimension. Ramanujacharya, he gave one dimension. Madhvacharya, he gave one dimension. Not only them, many yogis gave one dimension according to the context and the students whom they were addressing. Now, we are going to use the yogic approach and see this from many dimensions, that is in a multi-dimensional way. You know, that is the beauty of the yogic approach. Not getting stuck with just one dimension, but expanding the understanding to a multidimensional level. This is one of the key principles of the yogic approach. So, before we come to Brahman, see, because here it will be very confusing for you if you read the translation. Okay, action springs from Brahman. Brahman means the infinite supreme reality. If you take it like that, then in the very next line he says Brahman originates from Aksharam. Brahmakshara samudbhavam. Brahma Akshara samudbhavam. So, if Brahman itself is the infinite supreme reality, there should be nothing beyond it, right? But here he says Brahman originates from Akshara. So, what could be higher than that? So, this will confuse you. And then again he says Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. So, what is he referring to here? So, that's why we will go very carefully. We will use the yogic approach and penetrate this verse carefully so that you don't get lost at any step. If you just read, if you just get to know one dimension and if you get stuck there, then also your consciousness will not rise up further. See, why is it that there are so many philosophical fights going on? One person says, no, this is only right. Another person says, that is only right. Because each one is stuck with one particular level of understanding, or we can say stuck with one dimensional understanding. But if you want to become a yogi, you will have to become multidimensional. You will have to rise beyond all these petty quarrels and get to the real source. That is why he started off by, that's why we started this verse with the word vidhi, just to bring that attitude within you. Actually, you take it up as a homework today. Whatever it is that you know today, ask yourself, am I just knowing it superficially, or do I have a proper wisdom of that? Whatever I am talking or whatever I am saying, is it mere hearsay or is it an experiential wisdom? Actually, if you do this small homework, it will shake you up, because you will find that the majority of the things which you are claiming you know are all just theoretical. There may be a few things which you may have practical knowledge about, no doubt about it, that will be the field where you are working. But even in that, what you know will be very less in the practical sense of the term, and what you just merely talk about or philosophize about will be much more. So there is a difference between a true philosopher and a philosophy professor. A philosophy professor also knows, he has attained knowledge, but that is just superficial knowledge. There with the first level vidhi. But a philosopher is one who has experiential knowledge. There is a difference between a yoga teacher and a yogi. A yogi is one who has experienced the truth. You should learn to differentiate first. There is a difference between a pandit, means a scholar, and a saint. A pandit has knowledge of the scriptures, but merely intellectually. A saint is one who has the experiential wisdom of what is contained in the scriptures. See, these Great scriptures are utterances, experiential utterances of all the masters. What is the Upanishads? Whatever the master experienced, they shared those vibrations. They shared that energy in the form of wisdom. That is only the collection. Each Upanishad has many mantras. Mantra means just a terse kind of a sound vibrations, So some people think Vedavyasa wrote the Vedas. No, he only compiled the Vedas. The utterances of various masters from their experience were all collected. And Vyasa found that it was too voluminous, therefore he divided it into four, we can say four books. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, like that he divided. But all of them put together, what are they? Experiential utterances. Experiential utterances of the great masters. Not bookish theoretical knowledge. So the aim of these sessions is not to merely make you a pandit. For that we don't need to go into such depth, By now we could have finished the Bhagavad Gita and gone to some other text also. Supposing you say Om to a parrot, the parrot will repeat it. Om, it will say. Now, that is just mere external repetition. But what is the power of Om? There is a big difference, So, you do this homework of just finding out what are the things which you experientially know and what are the things which you know in a superficial theoretical way. Everything which you claim as I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that. How much of that do you know experientially? How much of that do you know merely theoretically? Put some percentage and see. This is like holding a mirror in front of you, You require some kind of courage to do that, but do it and see. Because you will humble down completely. So only then you will get that surrender to the Guru. How is it that, even a very knowledgeable person, when he meets his Guru, he is able to surrender? Because he knows that all the knowledge which he has gained is only intellectual, whereas a Guru is one who has that experience. So you go to a Guru for the experience, not merely for the knowledge. Incidentally, the Guru can give you that knowledge also, because once you experience something, what is knowledge? It is just an explanation of the experience. So the Guru will be able to do it. But without the backing of that experience, if someone is merely giving the knowledge part, such a person is called a pandit, a mere scholar of the Vedas. So, know that action has sprung, that is, action springs from Brahman, and that Brahman is right within you. Now, what are the different dimensions of the Brahman and all that? We will see in the coming sessions, because see, these words are used to mean different things in different contexts. So we'll have to see the context, and only then you will be able to absorb the deeper messages. So generally speaking, Brahman means the infinite, but here different aspects of the infinite are being given by Lord Krishna. So we will see that in the next session. What are the various dimensions of Brahman? That will take you to a totally different level of vibrations. But before that, I want you to do this homework about I want you to sit with that word, or I would say the principle of Vidhi, and become humble. Because if you want to know the truth, you will have to become nothing actually. If you approach a master with the ego of knowledge, he will simply humor you. He will he'll praise you a lot and send you away. See, when a master is harsh or when he tries to correct, actually you should be happy. But when a master is simply praising you, it means he is hiding something. He doesn't want to give the true wisdom because you are not ready to take it. The ego feels very happy and it will go away, So you sit with this principle Vidhi today and do some self introspection. Those of you who are doing the empowerment, some other homework also has been given, so you can do both. You have enough time, That is not an issue. Because otherwise I'll get a question, so should I do this first or should I do that first? And that's all up to you. Okay, so now we will do the Nididhyasana. Before we do the Nididhyasana, I'll take up one question. So this question has been asked in the YouTube comment section. The sadhak has put it. Hari Om Yogishri. Thank you so much for the deeper messages shared in this session. There are two questions that comes to my mind as I absorb and reflect on two messages. Deterioration of students' level. So number one, in ancient times, as the students' spiritual level was very high, the learnings and transfer of divine energy from the master to the students was through silence. As the students' level deteriorated, the verbal expressions by the master started. So can deterioration happen in silence? Because silence here is inner silence at the subtlest level. So this is the first question. And then the second one is about the change of yuga. Deterioration of student means the inner consciousness is devolving. Has the change of yuga connected with devolution of consciousness? It would be inspiring if some insights are shared on this. Pranams, Yogishri. So basically, what you have asked, has two parts. That's what you've said as two questions. The first one is you are referring to that point which was made where much in the pre-Vedic times, the teaching was done only through silence, the form of transference of energy. Because the students were at that high level, so they just used to go and sit with the master, spend some time with the master, 12 years, full time. And the master never used to speak anything to the students. Just by being in the presence of the master, they got transformed because everything was transferred to them in the form of higher energy. And the students were also able to receive that. And then it was mentioned that as the level of the students deteriorated, the master started giving some props. For example, first the chanting of Om was given. That itself is one level down only, from silence. and then the Upanishads were given. Then more was explained, more was explained. That's how it happened based on the student's level. So that only shows that the level to absorb the energy has very much reduced. So the first question which you have asked is, can deterioration happen in silence? Because silence here is inner silence at the subtlest level. See, you are getting confused a bit here. When it is said the level of the students deteriorated, we are not talking about the same student. What is being said is, when you compare the level of the students who were there in the pre-Vedic times and the level of the students, let's say now, the capacity of the individual has deteriorated. We are not talking of the same student's level getting deteriorated. It's not that first the student he was at a very high level, receiving the energy in silence from the master, and after a while his level deteriorated, the master started talking. It's not like, then it's almost, what you're saying is, the whole idea of learning in silence is to deteriorate, It's not like that. So we are just making a comparison of that high level, which was there, and then, in time, how the next set of students was not up to that level. Little by little, the deterioration happened. So this has nothing to do with the silence. The deterioration has nothing to do with the silence. Silence is one form of teaching, the subtlest, best way of teaching, provided the student can receive it. So a master teaches in every way. If you go to a master, sometimes, when you are at a high frequency, he will not say anything, but he will simply transmit the energy. He will give you that healing energy. Sometimes he may talk a lot to you. Sometimes he may talk a little bit. It may be a combination. So it just depends on what aspect he is addressing. Okay, I think you have confused it as the same student sitting and getting deteriorated. It's not like that. And then the next question which you have asked is about the yuga. What you have basically asked is, is a yuga connected with devolution of consciousness, which means initially it was called Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. Yuga means, you can say, in a very simple language, you can say time. That is a certain measurement of time. I am not getting into how much is one yuga and all that now, because they have given very clear measurements. How much is Kali Yuga? How many earthly years does it translate to? For example, it's 4.32 billion years, they say. And then for Dwapara Yuga, it's double that. So we are not getting into that calculation now, but the point is the passage of time, eon of time, or you can say. Now, it is said that Kali Yuga is a lower yuga, that is lower in terms of dimensions, dimensional experiences. Satya Yuga is a very powerful yuga where people were very pure. So what you are asking is, because of the yuga change, has the devolution of consciousness happened? No, it is not because of the yuga change. It is because the consciousness has devolved, the yuga happens. See, I have mentioned to you that these yugas are not only external. That is one calculation which our masters have given. These yugas also represent the development of consciousness from within. So today, if everybody gains this wisdom and starts doing sadhana and starts raising their vibrations, and if everyone's vibrations come to that infinite level, then this will become Satya Yuga. See, ultimately, the external yuga is defined by the vibrations. And who is creating the vibrations? People who are living there. That is why I tell all the sadhaks, once you have started doing sadhana, you don't need to worry about vastu of your house. Some people ask me, sir, what about vastu of my house and all that? See, one is the structure and all that. Other is the energy called vastu energy. And that vastu energy is created by the people who are living there. And even if one sadhak lives at a place, if you're doing your sadhana properly, and if you're invoking the Guru Shakti, the grace of all the masters will be flowing through you to the place where you are living also. So whatever deficiencies are there in the vastu energy and all that, everything will get set right automatically. The Upanishads, they go up to the level of saying, if one person gets enlightened, 7 generations this side, that side, they benefit from it. So, it is a river. So, you should be careful. I can see a little bit of tamasic energy behind this question, where the tendency of the mind to blame the environment. Please look into that. This is not only a piece of advice to this sadhak who was asked, but also to all the sadhaks. Generally, what happens is, we tend to blame the circumstances for our defects. So, why is it that I am getting angry? Because of the other person, we say. Why is it that this is happening to me? Because of the situations. Why is it that my consciousness has devolved? Because of Yuga Parivartana. It's because it's Kali Yuga, no. So naturally I'll be. So there is a small element of that energy also running behind this question. When I scanned and saw, I could see that. So my request to you is, set that right. Do the sadhana and release that. Nothing wrong in asking a question like this. You should ask and you should know. But ensure that this tendency of the mind to blame external circumstances is completely released. Do your personal sadhana and release it. If you have any problems in releasing that, simply with a pure heart, invoke the Guru Shakti and ask for help. You will get that help. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions and thoughts, I exist as the pure consciousness. My consciousness is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to convert my knowledge into wisdom, my personal experience. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So in today's session, we saw this powerful principle of Vidhi. You should absorb that energy and make this a part of your life. Don't be satisfied by just repeating whatever others have told you, which could be even from these Sunday sessions. Whatever is being shared is Yogishri's wisdom. But you should now sit with it and make it your own. Then only it will become your experience, no? That's why all these sadhanas have been given. That's why the various empowerment courses are being conducted to help you experience. Okay, so today do the homework of Vidhi. In the next session, we'll be going deeper into what Brahman is, what are the different aspects, and how it's related to karma. Okay, so thank you very much. Hari Om.